Hello, my darlings. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Happy Friday as I record this. We're having an interesting talk today. We're going to be really discussing the parallels, and this really comes from the foundation that we have here in this space at the Multidimensional Caffè, which is, we have our foundation in metaphysics and meditation and mindfulness. We are on a personal growth and development journey. We're leaders here. We're leaders of the new world. And we're also creatives and artists and very expressive, very sensitive beings around here. So those are the lenses that I normally work with, and those are the lenses that within my practice I really take to. That's the amalgamation of Sarah, is metaphysics, astrology, tarot, the woo-woo, magic, channeling, personal growth and development, leadership growth and development. What are you doing with those tools? What are you doing with that knowledge and those skill sets? And finding a safe, creative space to express yourself. Because usually if you are a part of my team and my flock in this world, we're a little quirky, we're a little different, definitely so. So from your alien friend, Sarah, we're going to be talking about narcissists leaving, or let me rephrase, the life cycle of being with and then leaving a narcissistic relationship. I definitely don't want to brazenly use terms. I feel like the narcissist is the new witch hunt right now. You're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist. Like, yes, there are some really intense narcissists in the world right now, but the lens that I want to talk about today is the 3D and the 5D, the fear and the love, a little bit of the, gaslighting when it comes to that realm. And really one of the biggest things that I have to brazenly, blanketly say is that when you are a forward thinker and when you are a leader and when you are someone who is constantly looking to develop themselves, and they're speaking from I statements, and I'm trying to be the best version of me that I can be in this world, that pisses people off. That can piss people off because you're not giving them any attention. You're working on you. Okay, I did that thing. Okay, amazing. I'm going to go deep dive into my traumas. I'm going to be a better version of myself. I'm going to apologize and atone for what I did. And now, however long that's been, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I've changed myself and I've bettered myself and I've developed myself. So that's, the love. I kind of had a little bit of so this is like the love, self-development. And then we have the fear over here. So it's not a competition. It's not one is better. It's not a race. But it's, when every decision that you make in this world is based in love or fear, if you're making decisions out of fear, that's usually like the finger pointing. And that's that great analogy. It's like when you're pointing one finger at somebody, you've got the rest pointing back at you. So then let's go back to this, moment where, I have two people and, you've done this to me. You. And that forward thinker, that self-developer took that information and is probably a sensitive soul like myself. We blindly, without understanding our boundaries, blindly believe what we're being told. Obviously, it's my fault. We're angels. Literally, I'm a starseed. I'm not a human being. I'm very used. So I don't understand how people can lie. So I'm like, oh, you're my best friend too? Great. So in our scenario, this person, is in this relationship, and the person that's maybe in a more fear-based mentality says, okay, it's your fault, so you go change. That person, when they changed themselves and they came back to the table and they're like, okay, I've changed, I'm not that person anymore, cool. I'm taking this course, I'm developing myself, I've learned some new skills. So it's not like I'm not even the version of myself that I was that did that. I've actually whittled new tools so I can help myself and then help others. What have you done? And usually that person's like, now you need to change this. Now you need to change this. And that, the forward thinker, the leader is like, actually, I'm developing myself. You told me I needed to develop myself. Now I'm developing myself, but you don't have to do anything different. Okay. I'm recognizing that. I'm putting that on my vision board and I'm aware of it. And a lot of the times as leaders, we can get into this mentality of, I use this analogy a lot, everyone is welcome at my table, like we have this table and I know what I bring to the table, and this person brings this to the table, but they're working on themselves over there, and then this person brings this to the table and they're doing this, but then this is what they're actually taking from the table. That's a leadership mentality, my dear. More often than not, 99% of the time, you're the only one who's even aware that there's a table. And, I have clients that are teenagers that are dealing with this with their parents, where they change, they develop themselves, they get new coping mechanisms. They're not anxious, they just need to meditate. Their nervous system needs to be regulated. And then they come back to their parents and they're like, okay, I'm meditated, I'm healing, I'm doing all these things. And then the parents are like, well, this is obviously not my fault. Obviously not my fault. I'm the only person that you have been looking to give you any of these tools. Obviously, this is not my fault. Go develop more tools. Be better. Shine brighter for me, in my image. Thank you. But that's another aside for another day. So let's go back to this relationship. I have someone who, is a forward thinker on their ascension path, going towards the 5D unity consciousness, self-focused. And we have that person that they're with that is seeing how brightly they shine. And when you do this inner work, I'm just going to say this brazenly. When you do your inner work, you shine like a celebrity. It is what it is. You shine in a way that unconscious beings or, people that are really scared, really fear-based mentality and not looking at their own inner work, you have a glow around you, a light, a safety that's so warm and so lovely and so wonderful. And people can see that. You shine like a celebrity. So imagine being in a relationship with someone where you literally become a celebrity in the relationship. You come brighter in the relationship. And this person has every opportunity. There is no competition. There is no competition. And I know as a leader, we're taught, within, leadership growth and development, lead by example, lead from the front. So I'm sure there was a point in your brain as you went through your codependency work where you're like, okay, I cannot carry this person. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to invite them to the course. I'm going to invite them to the gym with me. I'm going to ask them to work on themselves. I'm going to ask them to work on themselves next to me while I work on myself. Or maybe, we try to set boundaries. A lot of the times this is, narcissistic friendships can be even more debilitating. Narcissistic friendships can be even more debilitating because as you develop yourself, this is, it's really hard to say to a friend, hey, I love you, there's no love lost, but I'm going this way. I'm going this way and I'm not going to carry you. I'm not, looking to have a relationship with you. I'm sorry if you feel the way that you feel, but I'm going this way. It has nothing to do with you, but I need a boundary set. And there's a lot of thrashing around on that one. I'll talk a little bit more about, what happens in the end when it comes to the gaslighting. So now we're in, a relationship, we're in a friendship, or we're in a family dynamic where this, person, this narcissist is floundering, and you've probably recognized that it's time to leave the situation. And that, but as leaders and as forward thinkers, you've given it your all. You have given it your all. Your all. Your absolute all. And so, if you have come to that end, and you've decided within yourself, just give yourself the space and the stage to recognize that I've know ABC, all the things. I know I'm aware of the table and that nobody else is looking at the table. I know that this person is living in fear and has kind of attached themselves to me and I'm carrying them a little bit. And the brazen general brush stroke over every single one of my client sessions, every single one of the conversations that I have when it comes to this is the compassion of the person that has to leave the situation. More often than not, it's a man. And they're like, I'm sorry that I have to leave you where you are. And you're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you. But I cannot diminish myself more to put myself in the tiny compartment on the shelf in your boudoir that you want to keep me on. I can't do that anymore. I need to go do things. I need to fight dragons in this world. These are our alpha men. These are our alphas. These are the leaders. These are the Vikings. They literally are asleep just as much as we were asleep. I'm sorry, just as much as we were asleep, ladies. They were asleep too. So give them a little bit of a moment, because they're waking up and feeling like I'm in battle. If there are any gentlemen that are watching this right now, please send me an email directly, because when you're sleeping, past life battles are coming out. So if you feel like you're punching the air or like defending yourself when you're sleeping, that is so okie dokie, you're safe, but please just send me an email and we can chat a little bit about how that's affected, like what's going on there. Because I can hold space for you for that. It's very intense and there's a lot of woo-woo, but I will give you some direct communication and direct information about what's really happening there. So, where was I? Leaving the situation, leaving the relationship. We've recognized that, like, you don't want to hurt this poor person. You don't want to hurt this being. But at the same time, and this is me speaking in hindsight from what I did, because I left a narcissistic friendship, and what you will recognize in a few years as you are really unpacking this trauma is that you knew a long time ago that this person was probably going to try to tarnish your image, and that you were terrified about that. So you probably stayed a little bit longer than you wanted to. You probably tried to placate this person. You probably not that you lied, but you tried to manipulate the situation to control it in a way where you were not wrong. You were not wrong. It's going to explode. You were not wrong. Your fears were justified, because you know this person does not have the emotional maturity that is needed to go through an amicable separation. You know, in the unity conscious realm, when we have love as a perspective, I'll speak from I statements. If I'm not meant to be in your life, tell me and say, Sarah, I don't want you in my life anymore, and I won't call you anymore. And I'll say, I love you, goodbye. Live your life, goodbye. I love you. See you later. That's not what you think of me is not my, what is that phrasing that I really love? What other people think of me is none of my business. So vibrationally, the energy of Sarah is just not for your reality, then remove her. And I will deal with that on my end, and I will accept it and I'll honor it in my own way. So when it comes to very mature endings of relationships or evolutions of relationships, there's only love and there's only communication and open honesty. And like I've always said, boundaries are not just stay out of my life. It is, this is what I can offer you. I want you to stay, but only to here, because the rest is very unhealthy. So, okay, now where are we at? You've had the conversation with this fear-based person. I don't want to say that this is a narcissist. Even like the title is like the life cycle of being with someone who's narcissistic. I'm going to say narcissistic, fear-based, centered in a way where the world is like they are the only person in the world, like an underdeveloped Aries type of a way. So we're in the fear-based reality, and but if it is extremely narcissistic, the claws in the person are so deep, the talons are so deep that there's almost like scar tissue around the talons So it's like, you're like, fuck, okay, I gotta remove this. That's gonna hurt. And then I have to heal those wounds because they've been in there for a while. So we gotta take that out. And you do that. And then this is really where the gaslighting comes in. This is like, there is no right answer here. So this is really just a chat for us to kind of deep dive into. And please comment and let me know how this resonates with you, because I do not have the full answer. I think it's definitely developing. Because when we have these fear-based mentalities, all that matters is image. All that matters is image and ego. And so what I really implore you to remind yourself as you're going through this, my dear leader, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of you. Like I said, what anyone thinks about you is not your business. Count in your journals or in your mind's eye the people that you do give a fuck about how they think of you. Like your inner circle, your ride or die, your like the few people that you have. And if you want, before you make the separation or have the conversation, like let them all know what's going on. Let them all know. Let them all know what's going on. So when the gossip and the stories and the things come out and, the person tries to gaslight the whole situation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It sucks. It feels so gross. It feels so gross. Like when you are getting screamed at in public, it feels disgusting. It is embarrassing. It is so gross. When you're in it, it feels like you're shaking. You don't want to leave the house. You're embarrassed. You start to think well, everybody fucking hates me now because they think what that person said about me. They think that. And then you start to judge yourself, and then you start to view yourself through those eyes, and you're like, I hurt, oh my God, I'm so gross. So let's look at it from above. We have two adults going through their own life. Then all of a sudden, this adult is literally shouting like crap from the rooftops. Like shouting like obscenities about another adult. Obviously showing some really incredible maturity. The analogy that just popped into my head is like, I've only had to shut off a few people in my waitering career, and each and every time, actually, sometimes they're like, good call. But sometimes you really piss people off. And they're like, I need to speak to the manager. How dare you insult me and tell you that I am not in control of my thoughts, words, and actions? How dare you? I'm like, wow, you are really in control of your thoughts, words, and actions right now. You're obviously, I misspoke. You are ready for more of a spirit to be ingested into you. Okay. So now let's use that same film onto this situation. Oh my God, he was this, she was this, and they were that, and it was this, and it was this, and it was this, and it was this. And then you have the other person who's like, oh, this is what I did. I'm devastated. This is what I did. This is how I worked on myself. This is the problems. I feel awful. Yeah, it sucks. That's it. Yeah, I'm just in it. Fuck, I know. I'm sorry that she called. I'm sorry that they sent you that message. I'm sorry that happened. Like, And if someone believes it, bye-bye. Because if you're with me, my darling, we're leaders through and through. I'm a starseed. I'm not a human being. I'm from a very different time and space. And I shine like a celebrity, like an angel, like an alien, because I am. And that pisses people off. Or they want to be a part of it. They want to know the tea. I accept that, and I am honored to have that light. I'm honored to have had people tarnish my name so I can tell you that it sucks in the middle. It sucks in the middle. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to feel gross. Your human will feel gross. But B, you needed to remove this negativity from your life. And it's a deep-seated weed, so just keep weeding. Let it come out. Let it all come out. You'll be a better person in the end for this, and you will lead others and teach others what you're going through. Because when you are a self-developer, self-focused, like, it was screamed at me how self-centered I am. How could you be so self-centered? I am working on me. I'm in my own lane. There's no traffic in my lane. I do not care. I want you to have millions, friend. I want you to have millions, enemy. But stay out of my reality and stay out of my lane. There's no traffic in my lane. You stay in your lane. So now we're in the explosion of, the smear campaign, the public things, the yada, 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 the choosing which friends choose this person, which friends choose this person, and just try not to have any attachment as to what lasts and what doesn't in this time. Just keep focusing on yourself. And just keep nourishing the friendships and relationships that you do want to have. And give yourself... I don't want to project my own traumas onto you, so I'm not going to give a timeline here. I was going to give my specific timeline, but give yourself as long as you need to look at the moment before you're about to make a decision, whether or not it's, what do I want for dinner? Or do I want to go for a walk? Or like, what do I, ... Give yourself as long as you need to recognize that moment has been warped within your brain for a very long time, and try not to judge yourself for taking a lot longer than you think it's going to take to find out who you really are. Because you're a teacher, you're a leader, my dear. You are a starseed, you are a forward thinker, you are an entrepreneur, you're a light worker, you're just a part of this. You're a part of this. And I'm grateful for you, I'm proud of you, and I don't know what I would do without you. And do not dim your light for anyone. Shine like a celebrity, shine brighter. But, if the woo-woo isn't your language here, actually maybe incorporate that reality into your own personal journals. Pretend you're a celebrity. Pretend you are a celebrity and that people know you all over the world. And that maybe there's paparazzi outside your house, and that people are writing about you on page 6, and that the whole thing is like, give it that lens. Yeah, the magazines are going to write about you what they're going to write about you. The gossipers are going to gossip about you however they want to gossip about you. You're an archetype. They don't actually fucking know or care about who you are. You are an archetype. You are a celebrity. You are up there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You could open an orphanage in the midst of this whole campaign and they'll still be like, I can't believe that they had time to deal with that. I can't believe that they're spending their time doing that. That's so selfish. Like, it is what it is. We're here to change the world by changing ourselves. We're not here to change people's opinions because that's not a real thing. It doesn't actually exist. It doesn't actually exist. So let's wrap it up. Let's see. The divine masculine is waking up and I'm so excited about this. Like, for so many people, we were like, oh, it's just going to be cavalry of Vikings that just like come up out of the ocean. No, they're just waking up. They're just waking up and they're recognizing that they've been manipulated, that this toxic masculinity thing, like really, it's just like, yeah, we need the strong men. We do. We need the strong men. So there was something else. The breadcrumbs after this experience will last a very long time, if not the remainder of your, like, if this is a relationship type thing, like the imprints, you'll work on them. You won't project them into your new relationships. That's not what I'm saying. But the awareness that this happened, it's a big trauma. It's a big trauma when you've dealt with narcissistic abuse and when you've dealt with verbal abuse or manipulation. It's intense. It's really intense. So give yourself space. Give yourself a lot of space. Really talk to your inner circle, let them know what's going on, nourish and develop those relationships in a way where you as a leader, if I called you right now and I was like, I need you, I need help, you'd show up in a second. You'd be there in a second. That's a cycle. That's a cycle. This is just coming to me now. So, giving and receiving help. This is a cycle. If all you ever do is give, part of the cycle is not nourished. So it is exceptionally vulnerable to ask for help when you feel less than, when you feel so disgusting that your image is tarnished, and it like being a leader and having your image tarnished and like your reputation is very precious and very important. And I get that. I get that. Like an angelic healer, a spiritual counselor, an artist of channeled vibrations. I've been in really crappy environments. I've been a shitty person. Back in the day, I did many bad things, did lots of drinking and lots of drugs and lots of really gross things. I am no saint. I've been through it. But I bettered myself and I learned my lessons and I atoned for my sins and I developed and I kept going no matter. So now I can share that with you and say you're going to be fine. This is not going to physically break you, but at the end of the day, you will be a better teacher for it. You will be a better leader for it. I'm an experiential learner myself, so I needed to go through this to be able to tell you, you will come out the other end. I love you. I hope that this is helpful. Please If any of this resonates with you, please give it a like, please subscribe to my channel, please give it a thumbs up, please share this with anyone that you think is like in it and could use this information. I'm really proud of you. It's a really gross time. It's a really gross time, but I'm here for it. Got like the shit on my glasses. You got some shit on your glasses too. Just get that off. Like, be in your arena, but stay in your lane. There's no traffic in your lane. Love you.